let me ask you the one question that I'm most curious about. How does it feel to fuck a guy in the ass with a strap on?
Incredible. Very powerful.
Well, hello, my dear church boys, and as you just saw, this podcast episode is gonna be fun. It's a little bit crazy. To those of you who are new to my podcast, I am Saint Robert. I'm a dating coach who has been teaching guys from all over the world to improve their dating life, take control of their dating life, and learn to meet, seduce, and date girls they really like. But for those of you who have been listening to this podcast for quite a while and know me, well, a few updates for you guys. So it's warm outside, skirts are short, and everyone has waken up and realized, oh my god, I gotta learn games. So I'm getting a lot of coaching requests. So a few updates about coaching in Europe in this summer. So number one, I'm fully booked until early August. All of July is booked. I already have students in early August. So I have maybe 3 coaching spots left in August, and then probably mid to late September I will leave Europe. I will go to Central America and South America. So I'll coach probably like 3 students in August and maybe 3 to 4 students of September. That means I can only coach around 7 more guys this year in Europe total. So if you want to get some infield coaching, send me an email as soon as possible to robert@saintrobert.blog. It is robert@strobert.blog, or just head over to my website and on the top menu, click Learn Day Game. That's all you have to know. And now let's get back to the podcast. Hello, my dear church boys, and welcome back to Saint Robert's Day Game podcast. And a few days ago, I posted on my Instagram profile a story with this couch, camera in front of the couch, and I asked, what does this remind you of? And 2 types of people responded, either guys who have seen the casting couch porn videos or some of the kinkiest girls that follow me on Instagram that I know. Everyone was laughing. And actually one girl said, oh, this reminds me that I'm waiting for your message when we can meet. And yeah, so now we're sitting on this casting couch with, how do you call you today?
Today you can call me Mistress Thalia.
I can't call you like that?
Yes.
But that's what we call, that's what we'll call you. I can't call that, because that would, like, you know me. I'm like, remember when we did that bondage thing? And
yes,
like we were like
yes,
the 2
I
people.
remember.
We were the 2 people. Well, yeah, and Vicky as well. It was like 3 people. Oh no, you liked pain and I hated the pain and Vicky hated pain.
Yeah. But still, like, the name I go by as Dom is Mistress Thalia Hell. So for the interview sake.
Yes. So Mistress Thalia Hell, you have the surname of Flame, which has been on the podcast previously.
Yeah, I have been officially adopted to the Hell family.
Officially?
Officially.
Like
yeah.
With paperwork and everything?
Yes.
No, for real?
Almost. No, it's more like a drag family. So
nice.
Basically another Dom added to the Hell family and running the dungeon.
Nice.
Co-running.
So before we get into talking about this, I do want to know how you started this. I do want to know a lot of things because you are into sex education and you're a dom and you do many different things. But before we talk about that, let me ask you the one question that I'm most curious about. How does it feel to fuck a guy in the ass with a strap on?
Incredible. Very powerful. It's actually some kind of power rush that you get from that. I mean, with the right person, of course.
Because that's what someone else told me as well. That it's like a kind of like a power trip.
It is a power trip. Yeah, it's definitely a power trip, but also it gives you perspective because it's a hard work.
It is?
Yes.
What do you mean by hard? How is it a hard work? Because I'm genuinely curious.
I mean, different muscles at work.
Oh, those hip thrusters.
Yeah, so you actually start to appreciate guy in sex in the process more because you get the perspective from the other side, all the effort that goes into that. But yes, it's definitely a power trip because men are at the most vulnerable at that point when they are on the receiving end, and to see someone We are used to be very masculine, tough, and
Yeah.
like have to be always composed and together, to be just gentle, open, vulnerable, exposed, and most of the time actually wanting the same things you want from guys.
Yeah.
I want from guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very interesting. You definitely learn more about a person you're with, and you definitely learn more a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure that's whatever. Okay. I've heard some people describing it as having a lot of role of a therapist at the same time because of the emotional journey the guys sometimes go through while submitting to a dom.
You mean only pegging, or you mean the whole fetish scene?
I don't know. What do you think? What's your
I think the whole fetish experience is very therapeutic, BDSM and other kinks. Because, first of all, when you talk to someone who has a kink and they're not very experienced, they're probably ashamed of it. And they're thinking something is wrong with me, I'm the only one pervert in the world. So being a person who they can talk to at least about that already like put the neurosis at bay, and they just feel calmer and more confident about themselves. So that's one thing. Next thing is when you get to actually doing it, whatever it is, flogging, spanking, bondage, sense deprivation.
You do candles,
pain.
I think I've seen.
Yeah, wax
FetLife.
play, strap-on, pegging, whatnot. I mean, when you get to do this thing with a person, with consent, of course, everything begins with talking, with limits and what person thinks about this thing, this experience. Because some people are very accurate, they know what it means, they know what's going to happen, they know what they want. Other people really don't. They have this kind of image, and yes, please forget about 50 Shades. Everything you've seen there is nonsense and fiction. It's just like a fairy tale, so non-applicable to real life. And then you talk it through and you explain that the session is going to be like this and like that. We can do this or we can do that. And then you tell yes, no, red, orange, green. So when you get to the real action, pain gets you out of your head. We are all living in our heads too much. And sometimes we don't have time or resolve or motivation to get out of our head and reconnect with our body. But all the stress, all the trauma, all the emotions that we didn't live through, they get stored in the body, like in muscles, in some kind of painful moments. So when you, in a way, hit it out of the person, you inflict pain, and that pain keeps them focused on the sensation in the body. So they are not thinking anymore about their work, their relationships with their parents, friends, or whatnot. And they come back to the body, and they come back to that emotional pain that is stored there, and it can resurface, and they can live through that. And going back to pegging, I think being on receiving end of penetration is making a man so open that it brings him back to this being open to the world on the whole. So yeah, that can bring a lot of emotions, because men are not expected to be open to the world. They're expected to toughen up and go to war and work through stuff and just not express emotion and don't cry. Boys don't cry. Such nonsense.
It's so interesting because what you described, the process that you take them through really reminds me of drugs and the experience you go through when you take a psychedelic drug, for example. Because at that moment, the difference is when you take a psychedelic like LSD or mushrooms, like you kind of give up the consent. Because you're like, you take a tab and you're like, wherever you take me, thank you, I'm yours for, and like you can't say the safe word, so you kind of have to play safe. But all the small details you described really remind me of my experiences when tripping. Obviously, my experiences I've had in my dreams, not in real life, because we do not support or encourage or blah 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 drug use, and all of this conversation is for educational purposes, and fuck you, YouTube. So if and I do love talking about pegging and strap-ons, just because that's the most kind of like the most scandalous thing, and so the way and it's something that people, when you say it, people imagine something, but they don't think about it too much. So I actually assume that it's a lot of work, because you can't just like spit in your palm and and just like, okay, let's go, bitch.
No, definitely
it's like
not.
It's a lot of work to take a guy to like a state of mind, and not mind but also physically, where he can do that and enjoy that.
Well, anal sex is always preparation. I mean, there cannot be just like a quickie anal sex. Like first time, definitely not. Lots of lube, lots of preparation. And then again, we are talking about sizes. That's where pegging, I mean, guys are lucky, because for pegging, you can choose your weapon with... When you're fucking a guy, you kind of stick with what he's got in his pants, so there's not a lot of options.
That sounds like a problem with anal, yeah.
Sometimes it's a problem, because especially guys with big dicks, they're like going straight for the ass. I mean, they can, but they need to be a little bit more considerate sometimes.
Yeah.
So you can choose the size, and thank God sex toys industry is blossoming, so there's a lot of quality toys which are specifically for pegging, which are band, so for prostate simulation, and so different shapes, sizes and looks. You can experiment with, some guys prefer naturalistics, that looks like real dicks. Some guys don't care about that, so you can use pink, violet, green, whatever.
Pink, obviously.
Or black.
Is there like
or black.
Is there like a transparent one with sprinkles in it?
Yeah. They have.
What about like one that like the fluo color in the dark, like glows?
Yes, fluorescent is also an option, and you always can go to Bad Dragon and just order whatever color, whatever shape.
What is that?
Bad Dragon dildos.
Bad
Dragon.
Like BAD.
Yes.
Bad Dragon.
Bad Dragon, they make all sizes and shapes, like tentacles, aliens,
that's fucking lit.
like monster dicks and whatnot.
Nice.
In all glittery fluorescent.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How much is a dildo like that?
A lot. Like
what? Like 100 euro?
200, 250.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But you get a sparkly dildo shaped
sparkly,
just like unique.
Shaped as you need, yeah. I mean, you can always find something else, but again, you don't have to start with a Bad Dragon. You can start with something simpler. So yeah, you find your size. Beginners is one thing. Those guys who enjoy anal stimulation, that's another thing. Guys who already tried fisting is a completely different thing. More fun thing, I would say, because I mean,
you can get into it.
Yes, you can get into it. You can use bigger toys, which are always like you can appreciate the impressive view of something very big entering the body. Because like I'm a size queen myself, and I like guys who are size queens as well.
Yeah.
So like we share something.
What's a size queen?
Size queen is someone who likes big toys, big dicks,
Okay.
something big. Yeah, so fisting, again, is another level of interesting play. So you might not need a toy as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. I had a conversation with another member of your family, your BDSM family. No,
No, Flame?
the one who isn't public, I think, with her name.
Okay.
So let's not mention her name, but
Okay.
we all know who we're talking about. I do hope to get her one day on this podcast when she finally becomes brave enough to show her face. 'Cause
Okay.
that's one thing keeping her from doing this. I actually interviewed Vicky on this podcast as well about
nice.
sex, but I want to do a video with her because you both work in the same place. And, can you tell guys where you work? What do you do?
Yeah, I work at a local sex shop, Sexy Style, which carry a lot of dildos for different purposes. Yeah, that's interesting because, when I started going into sexology and sex education, I realized that Sexy Style was the perfect place for me work-wise. Almost the only place in Riga that suits lifestyle and interests at the same time. So yeah, I really like it there. COVID a little bit slowed things down, sex education and events wise, but we'll get to it.
We will. Well, guys, she works at the best sex shop in Latvia. That place is, for Latvia, it's really good.
And that's
it's a
also
small
for
country.
Latvia.
It's a small country, so for Latvia, they have a really good selection. In some things, they have a very good selection. If you want colors or something like that, that's maybe a bit more limited and you might have to explore, but anything else, they have a lot of stuff. People working there, most of them are kinksters themselves, so they know what they're talking about. I remember I spoke to one of the guys running the place, Juris, and he's always talking about ass play and ass toys, and and I just told him I'm not into that shit. And he just have you tried that stuff? I was no. And he told me, imagine the best orgasm you've ever had. I was okay. It's multiplied by 10. And honestly, that's when I became curious. I'm not interested in pegging or anything, but I would definitely do some ass play with the right girl. But she has to know what she's doing. That's another thing. Because girls, it's not it's not like they really know how to approach it. You can't just stick a finger up someone's ass, especially someone who is not
You cannot also just stick a dick into vagina as well, or the mouth, or whatever. So we are coming back to the essential part of every relationship ever, communication. So people need to learn how to talk calmly about sex stuff.
So actually, let's talk about this. How do you talk with a guy about exploring let's say ass play? How do you talk with a guy as a woman? How do you talk with him about exploring that topic? Is there is there a way you talk about this? Have you thought about this? Is there some questions you ask, or is it just an open whatever?
I'm usually very open about what I do, what I want, what I'm interested in, but I also am very empathetic to people about their place in the world, in the kinky world as well. So I can just ask directly, but for other people, I think the advice is to find the right time. By right time, I'm not saying plan the holiday dinner 6 months in advance, get her situated and nothing that complicated. No, just maybe not in a public transport on your way home from work, or not straight after sex. Like
send them the meme that's been going around Instagram the few days, like that.
The meme is not a bad idea, because to use something neutral between you as an excuse to talk about something like a game or some questionnaire is a good thing to start. Where to start? Because when it's not you asking your partner a question, then there's no immediate defense.
It was just on a list of questions.
Yes, I mean, just
I found this list online.
Do you find this something that might interest you? Is this something you would like to try? Can we experiment with this? And of course, if the girl done research and she knows how to handle that, that's one thing. She can explain that we don't have to do like the whole pegging session at the first time. We can do just like rimming or...
But it's it's the same as guys saying just a tip. You can stay over, we won't fuck.
Yeah.
We all know what that means.
But again, I mean, like, you start with communication, you talk it out. If there's like even a slight yes from a guy, so if there's an interest, like, for example, from your side, then you can go and Google toys. And guy can choose. For example, he can say like, okay, I don't see this thing entering me ever. This thing kind of looks cute.
This tentacle thing.
Yeah.
Alien dick.
This is looks interesting. Then again, you start with rimming, like with fingers, and the same with guys. Like when you approach a girl for anal sex, you start with fingers, you start with tongue, you start
tongue,
with
definitely number one.
Yeah, you start.
See how she reacts to that.
With little
she move
small
away or not.
Butt plugs and toys. And someone actually, I think it's Sexy Style, told that in LA or somewhere in the US, a guy who ran a seminar for guys about anal sex, he actually made the guys go to the sex toy shop and buy like replica of their dick and try to put it up their own ass before they put up a girl's ass. Because you have to understand what the other side is feeling. And for me, I embrace that approach very much, because as a dom, I'm a switch. I'm a 100% switch. But as a dom, I started still as a sub. So I needed to understand what the sub feels, how electroplay feels, how clamps, shibari, bondage, flogging, and other practices feel. So I think it's a good approach to really understand what the other part is feeling. But yeah, so you talk, then you start with
something softer.
Preheating the oven, as in American Pie, they said.
That's a good one, yeah.
And then you try the toy. And again, at any point in sexual relationship, you can say stop. You can stop, you can put on your pants and go. Or you can go and have a tea and conversation about this experience. Or you can cuddle, or whatever you need. So even if half the toy is up your ass and you realize, okay, today is not the day.
Not the day.
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable. I feel violated.
And then if on the other kind of side of the spectrum, someone's like rimming your ass and you're like, no, fuck it. I want someone to fuck me in the ass today. That's fine too.
Yeah, that's fine too. Okay, there is one point in all this process, preparation. Like, yes, cleaning before is something you might consider. But again...
Is it like, to what level? Is it like enemas or not that serious?
Enemas not so necessary. I mean, it's basically warm water always. Yeah. But if you are on a healthy diet with lots of fiber in it and it's been 2 or 3 hours since you've been to visited the toilet, then it shouldn't be a problem with the small toy. I mean, fingers in gloves or toys that doesn't exceed like 10, 15 centimeters would be fine. If you're using bigger toys, then yes, you need to do a proper cleaning that can take up to 2 hours, and because you need to clean the whole column. So consider what you're gonna be doing, and just again, there's a proper guide on the internet how to do it.
So what should guys Google? Just so they can do the research.
Anal sex preparation.
Okay. Is it gonna link to something useful, or are the top 10 results gonna be from Cosmo?
Well, Cosmo is not the source you want.
Exactly, that's why I'm asking.
Probably you have to look on some gay websites.
Okay.
They have the proper information about that because they know everything. Okay. And I need to look it up because I have just like this brochure guide saved up.
It's like, hey, before you come, do this.
I don't give it out like as a manual, but I can talk through that as well.
Okay.
And also, I mean, if you're gonna be deal with butts, you're gonna at some point deal with some shit.
No, obviously.
So
it's a part of it.
I mean, we are all using condoms, gloves, and other barrier kinds of protection. So, I mean, it's not the problem.
No. I mean, if you do that, that's kind of part of what's going to happen. And you have to be ready for it.
It's only natural. I mean, we as kinksters, I think people understand that it's only natural. Like sweat, saliva, cum, all the fluids. It's just how people work.
Let's talk about stereotypes. So there is a stereotype about the guy who would look for a dom and look for that submissive for submissive play. And so the stereotype is that they're usually like highly successful in some other fields in their life, and they're very controlling in their everyday life, and then that's kind of the part where they let go. Is it a true stereotype? Is it just that? Is it just a simple stereotype and nothing more? Or what kind of men are reaching out to you, or what kind of men do you play with?
It's definitely one of the stereotypes that's true, because BDSM as a whole is an escape, some sorts. It's a tool for you, whether it's whatever play we're talking, it's an escape for you not to be you for some time. To feel differently, to look differently, to act differently. And for people who are always in control, yes, this is a little bit truth to that stereotype, is that those who are in control stay in control. Because when a person submits, everybody's thinking, okay, dominant is in charge, submissive is like letting go of control, he doesn't decide anything. Not true. So submissive still in charge. Basically, whoever has a no, a stop word, that person is in charge. So guys who are CEOs and big guns and control a lot of things in their life, yes, they come for this submission part, but that's only because in real life, many people count on them to decide, to be responsible for other people, health, pleasure, lifestyle, and salaries and whatnot. So when they come to the session and they submit, you are taking control of their pleasure, of their states of mind, of their experience, but they're still in control because they can say, stop here, or let's change that. And also they come with their specific requests, like this guy likes flogging, this guy likes pegging, this guy likes cross-dressing without the pegging.
I love those pictures on FetLife. Oh my god, like the ones you posted with the cross-dresser and like the lipstick on the dildo. Oh my god. That was
She's
like,
so cute.
yeah, and it's like, look at the lipstick on my cock or something like that. That was amazing. I love that
Yes,
shit. That was
yes.
amazing.
This is very interesting. And actually, about cross-dressing, I didn't know I would like it so much. Like the first time I changed my partner into stockings dress and garter belt, it was like something primal going there. Like I was like, give me that. And there was no pegging. Well, at that time. So it was just like spanking and then tying up and something like that. So not always, not always the pegging and the strap-on.
So it's interesting that you say that when a guy comes, he comes with like, I want this to be done to me, I want this done to me, because like when I play, I know what they like, but and sometimes I'll kind of talk about with them, like sometimes like I'll talk with them what they're really into, what they want more. And sometimes I'll just focus on what I want to do, knowing their limits and knowing the safe words and everything. But yes. I will definitely choose like, okay, this is my fucking thing. You're a fuck toy. You know your safe words. You know everything. Like fuck you. Now we're doing this.
Yes, so what I meant is not like a list of specific things done one after another and not step left or right, but more, so the preliminary talk is more to find out whether we are on the same page. Because I try to do sessions to play with people who are into different things that I am. I'm more into physical things, impact play, and that kind of thing. So if someone is really more into mind games or just like orders and just like being useful, it doesn't go well for them or me because it's just blunt.
Doesn't mean shit to you, basically.
I mean, it means, but I'm not that interested, so I cannot give my all into that.
Yeah, I've never thought about this, but there are like things I really love, and there are things that like some girls want, but I have zero interest of walking you on a leash. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
unless it's in a public setting.
I can do that, but if I really have no personal interest in that, I cannot do it like 100% passionately and interestingly and improvise in that moment, because it makes me like goes in my head and think like, okay, what does he want to do? What can he do for me more? But again, I think maybe it's just some kind of limit for me at the time right now. So maybe I will get into that as well. But for now, I really like physical things. So we discuss whether we into that, and also about the pain. Like I like to inflict pain because I like emotions. I like reactions. This is what I like most in playing, and inflicting and invoking this emotion is what attracts me. So if a person at once says like, I don't like pain at all, okay, so we discuss something else that I'm interested in. Because, for example, power exchange and then cross-dressing and then pegging and essential play can be done without the pain. So again, there are options. But you still have this power dynamic shift. So I'm in control. They give their consent for submitting to me, and I'm in control for that short period of time. We discuss whether it's 1 hour or a day or a week. I'm in control. I'm deciding. So within the limits of what their interests are, I'm deciding what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, what they're going to get as a reward, what they're going to get as punishment. So, yes, that kind of
cookie. For good job. So, about the stereotype, what other types of men do you meet, or what other types of men reach out to you, or is it just like stereotypical successful type, or is it all over the map?
No, it's just one type of guys. I mean, very different people come, but I noticed that lately, and I really like this direction, a lot of people, girls and guys, turn to me for more therapeutic sessions. So it's still kinky, but it's more about therapy. Like they want something to live through. They want to relieve the emotions through physical pain. They want to just go to that subspace to fix their head. They want just this caring, because dominating is caring. Like you take full responsibility for the life of other people, and you have to be very sharp, very on all the time. Like you watch every movement, every breath, every sound they make, because like when they're tied up, cannot move, sometimes cannot talk, you have to make sure they're safe, and you have to make sure they're having a good time.
I just usually give them something to hold in their hand, just like as a safety thing that they can rob.
Zoo shops are perfect for that. You buy a squeaky toy and you give.
Squeaky toy.
They're perfect. I dissected a beaver from the zoo shop, and I have a lot of squeaky toys now.
So I've thought about. So several people from the say from the scene have said that the deeper guy goes into BDSM, the more he discovers his submissive side, and the one thing in Latvia is that we have so many submissive men. So, do you have some thoughts as someone who has explored and is a sex educator and kind of educated in many directions in this way? Do you have an idea why is it that we have so many submissive men?
Yeah, so I think there are at least two types of submissive men. So there are dominant guys, strong, confident, successful guys who are doms and who turn to submission because it's just an expansion of their confidence. Like when it's about limits, it's about knowing yourself. So when you know yourself well and you know your strengths and weaknesses and you accept yourself and you're confident in your sexuality as well, you can do whatever like with that. And it doesn't mean shit to you. So I can paint my nails, I can wear a skirt to work outside, wherever. I can stick my butt out, I can be submissive to my girl, to her girlfriend, if they want that. If everybody consents, why not? And the other type, I think, is, again, like, guys are in charge mostly still in life. They're expected to be in charge, even if they're not running their own multi-holding company. They're still expected to be in charge, to be composed, to take care of, I don't know, mother, brother, wife, kids, themselves. And submission kind of gets you to relax. Like you can let go and somebody just take care of you, of your pleasure, and just open you up a little bit.
It reminds me of this Russian girl I used to date last summer. Like that's why kind of date more Russian girls than Latvian girls when I'm here, because we woke up in the morning and she just gave me a blowjob. And then I wanted to do something like to her and just like fuck off. Like I just wanted to give you a blowjob. Like enjoy this. Like it's like the feeling of someone just taking care of you.
Yeah.
And to me, that is someone who just gives you head when you wake up and is like fuck you when you want to give something back. It's like can't you just? Because to me, it was actually very hard to let someone do something for me without giving back and without being expected to give something back, or because it was really hard.
Yeah, I understand that, but also that's another talk I think about sex as the whole. People usually still stick to this stigma that sex is penetration and orgasm and something bright and exciting and passion and just like this fireworks. It's not. It's like everything that happens in between sex, like sexual act and until next sexual act, all this is sex as well. So touches, sexting, sending nudes, giving each other oral, or I don't know, just every act can be sexual if you want to kind of maintain that heat, that attraction, that liveliness of the process. And again, if a person enjoys something, blowjobs or cunnilingus or anilingus or pegging, he enjoys it for himself. Yes, the receiving partner also enjoys and gets the pleasure from it, but first and foremost, you have to enjoy it yourself. Exactly. Otherwise, why do it? And that's, I think, the answer to a lot of things.
I think that's, especially with oral sex, like the best head, like regardless of technique, is when you know that the girl is doing that, and that time she fucking does it because she wants to do it and she's enjoying the process.
Yeah.
And it's the same when a guy is going down on a girl. Like sometimes you just like you forget about the technique a little bit, even though like there's so many books. Guys, read those fucking books. They're really good. She Comes First. It's a really good book.
That's a good one.
And then you just enjoy it, and that's why you do it.
Yeah. And that's again a question of communication. You have to communicate to your partner that sometimes it's gonna be just like you're on the receiving end,
or sometimes if we were talking to Flame, sometimes it's just about taking your girl's drink in a bar, being in it a little bit, and knowing that for the rest of the night she's drinking her drink with a little bit of your piss in it.
Yeah. Or that.
I love that conversation with Flame. He's a great guy to talk to.
Yeah.
It's hard to interview him. He like talks very long, so it's hard to do a real interview with him. It's usually like 2 hours and so
he has a lot to share.
If I found a way to get kind of like short, concrete answers from him, I would enjoy those conversations so much, and he would have so much to teach, so much to share. And
Flame is an inspiration, so he just have to do his own, I don't know, audiobook like that goes on for hours and hours. You can just put it on the background.
Hours for days.
For days, yeah.
On one topic. But he's a great guy, and he's done so much for the community. And I interviewed him twice, and one of the times I fucked up the audio, but the first audio is live, and it is interesting. I, by the way, suggest guys, if you enjoy this conversation, I suggest going back and listening to, I think it's like Intro to BDSM with Flame Hell. I do suggest listening to that. As I explained, he does give long answers, so that conversation sometimes feels kind of slow, and then it becomes very interesting, and then again slow. But if you're into this stuff, I do suggest going through that interview. And let me ask you, back to submissive and dominant men, if we have so many men who are controlling and successful, why do we still in Latvia have so few male doms?
Good question.
Well, maybe you have some thoughts as being so deep in the scene.
I think, and it's only my opinion, that maybe guys are a little bit lazy, because being dom is hard. It just takes a lot of work, because being dominant is not only like choking and spanking girls.
In the beginning, in first year it is, but then you're just like, okay, this was boring. Like, let's learn what this is.
Yeah, and about choking, please learn how to choke properly. Do not press on the front, like only the sides, only the blood flow. Breath play is the most dangerous and should be treated with respect.
Crazy video that was going around like a year ago or more.
Which one?
The chick in the vacuum bed where she's with it like. People from Sexy Style, everyone was sending it around, and like
I might have missed it, but
she's like 5 minutes in the vacuum bed, and she fucking almost dies. I think she peed herself. She literally like I watched it and was like, how the fuck is she still alive? Like, it was crazy. Yeah. It was not safe.
So
Dominant
have
man.
to watch for safety measures always.
So what's with the dominant men? Where are they?
Dominant man, where are you? Text us, comment. Yeah, I don't know, because I think there are dominant men. But for example, for me, it's very hard to submit right now. The more I go into domination, the more I learn, the more I practice, the more it's hard to submit. Because for me, to submit, I have to submit to a person who's somehow better than me. And not only better in spanking or electroplay or wax play or talking dirty to me. No. Or has a bigger dick than me. So it's about him being better in life somehow. So and it doesn't necessarily have to be like he's a millionaire who has his own company.
Christian Grey?
I'm allergic to that.
Don't puke on camera.
I'm trying not to. Yeah, sorry. So no, not necessarily Christian Grey. Maybe he's a professional, I don't know, in sports. So he knows sports well, he can talk for hours, he's an expert in that. So it's a person I can learn something from. And with that authoritative position, he can be dominant to me. So I have to have something to admire about him, whether it's his discipline, lifestyle, knowledge, something. So I don't know, maybe guys don't feel confident, maybe guys don't really want to bother, because again, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of responsibility. And guys, sometimes it's an issue.
I think also someone kind of has to show the guy that the thing is that exists and it's actually normal, because the way I discovered this was in my last relationship. The girl, like the first time we had sex, she just said, do whatever the fuck you want, I have no limits. I was like, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
And that's how I started exploring it, and then I started Googling. Like I'm a geek when it comes to anything I'm interested in. I'll spend days and days reading about stuff online, and I started being curious about it, and I read everything I could find, and I tried everything I could find, and definitely made a lot of mistakes, but still fun. And so it's easy when someone kind of says, you can have fun with me, do whatever you want, like I'm open to this, to these experiences. For example, I know that, and this is what I enjoy most, I enjoy taking a girl who's like slept with like 4 guys, maybe has never had sex on a first date, or like has never had a one-night stand, or maybe like is a virgin, and then like 6 months later she's like a threesome with me and some other girls, or like another guy, or just like opening her to the kinkiness and to the world of BDSM. To me, that's the biggest turn on, is introducing innocent girl, like kind of like fucking them up in a good way. So maybe for guys it's also easy if someone kind of says, okay, like if you want to explore, I can be your...
I think it's very important to have this kind of guide people in the BDSM community everywhere, because kink community, BDSM community, any like community that does specific kind of interests, have specific kind of interests, they have to have guides, people who will show the place, tell the rules, do that, don't do that. If you don't know something, ask him or her. Try something, but still respect people you're playing with. And yeah, guides are important. And as for discovering your inner dominant, I think yes, a lot of guys don't know they are into that. They can be that, so they're not exploring that as much, because yeah, it's still taboo, and taking that taboo off is one of my goals. I would really love to do that because as all things sex, the more you talk about it, the more safe it becomes, the more interesting it becomes. So it should be talked about.
And I think it's scary. Exploring your dom side, it was scary for me.
Why? How?
Like you start doing one thing and then next thing and then next thing, and then you go into like caning and like leaving bruises like middle of the summer. Like,
so you go to the more extreme.
You go like at one point you realize like what I just did, that's like not normal, and I really liked it. Is everything okay with me? Like, how far would I go? And when I had that experience, that realization, like, oh my God, this shit is crazy. Like, is everything fine with me? Am I a normal person when I do this? I understood that I understood that people can have really crazy kinks. And I have no right saying or even thinking whether that's okay or not, as long as it's legal.
Yeah.
Well, it's tricky, but with legality, because BDSM in general is illegal, because you cannot consent to someone beating you up with a belt. Like, you cannot consent to that. That's illegal by definition. It's abuse, legally speaking. In US, for example.
In US, in UK, maybe. I'm not sure in Latvia. We need to find that out. But for me, whatever happens in the relationship, if it's with consent between two people, it can be done. I mean, of course, there are always gonna be bad situations when there's real abuse that is masked. Oh, she's into BDSM. Yeah. That's why I'm hitting her head on the couch or on the floor every day. And that's not acceptable. So there has to be system in place for people to turn to get protection. But at the same time, there should be some privacy for people to explore their kinks. And yeah, we cannot kink shame anyone. And as for normality, the classification of like perversion, like sickness, is when you have only this kink to satisfy you longer than 6 months. It troubles you, so you suffer from.
So you're like an addiction, basically, like drug
an
abuse.
Addiction, basically. Yeah, it takes off of your social life. You stop eating, taking care of yourself. You're thinking only about that. You cannot get off of anything else. Just like this specific thing, you do it a lot. And it can be anything from watching porn to foot fetish to, I don't know, stockings and pegging and other things.
Okay, I know what's my perversion, 100%. Like,
care to share?
Yeah, like, I'm really like, if she's, mostly with exceptions, if she's over 23, 24. Like, I don't care.
But I mean, like...
age, she has to be really young.
Okay.
Like, not like really young. That sounded bad. But like, legal age. Legal age.
Young.
Legal age, but she has to be really young, because I don't click anymore with girls my age, and I realized at one point that like they don't even turn me on anymore, and it didn't used to be like that. But now I realize that girls my age don't turn me on, like, at all, regardless of how hot they are.
I'm opposite. I don't get turned on 25 and less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girls and boys. Like, I can understand the visual appeal. Yes. Most of the time, but I need brains, I need experience, I need a person who really can feel like these subtle moments, and it only comes with experience and with age. I mean, there are unicorns and rare kinds of beasts.
Sport professionals who can talk for hours about their sport and you can learn something from them.
Yes.
18-year-old sports professionals.
Yes.
With huge horse dicks.
Well, horse dicks, not so much.
Someone shared that picture on FetLife or liked the picture with that ripped guy with like a dick down to his knee. Was that you? Or like I saw it on my feed. I thought it was like you or
I'm not sure that
someone
was
from like we definitely both know the person.
From our people.
You probably saw it in your feed too.
But like to the knee, it's too much. Girth, more acceptable than length.
So let's talk about your online presence. You're on FetLife and you're on OnlyFans.
Yes.
So the one thing I want to know about FetLife, because when I was in Serbia, I just made a post in the local kind of groups. I said, "Hey, I'm bondage guy. I'm here. I'm looking for a few bunnies to tie up." And I got some messages, like people were interested, because in Serbia, a lot of people, turns out, are really kinky. And I met a few girls, like I tied a few girls up, I played with a few girls, but I got the attitude. It's just like I don't date Tinder girls like ever, because when you meet a girl on Tinder, she behaves like she's this, like her pussy is made of gold and like bitch, please, I'm gold. Like, how are you behaving? And I can't take that attitude. Like her behaving like I'm one of her 20 options. No, I have to be like the most important option in the fucking world. And I know I'm spoiled like that because of what I do for a living and like coaching guys to meet girls and all. Like I'm just spoiled that way. And what I noticed
or you're choosing just young girls who
yes,
still treat their pussy as gold.
Yeah, well, no, like on Tinder, that's the thing. Like they get so much attention that they don't care about you. And what I was interested in FetLife, after a while, I realized, oh, they became just like Tinder girls, and I stopped seeing them. And I realized girls on FetLife, when I'm talking to girls who are on FetLife, I realized they get so much attention. Oh my God. Like, so one girl told me that, so she had this picture with a butt plug, like she was tied up with a butt plug in her ass, and someone has sent her a message, I would love to take that butt plug out and use it as a pacifier. I was like, okay, so what I wanted to ask you being active on FetLife, how many messages do you get from guys? And those messages, some of them, I assume a lot of them are completely weird, but there are some that are reasonably written, like messages that you actually want to respond to, and guys that you actually want to talk to. So how much and what type of messages do you get on FetLife?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I get like a lot of messages. I mean, like a couple every day. And for me, definition of weird is a big spectrum. So as everything else.
But like if someone says, like the first message they send is like, I want to take the butt plug and use it as a pacifier, like
that's normal.
Would you respond to that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I try to respond almost to every message, and the ones I do not respond to are usually rude ones. But even if they are rude ones, and by rude I mean there's no hello, how are you doing, no address, just like I want to lick your feet or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's where I put the pacifier message in, like because it was a rude message.
So at once, like I want to do stuff to you or do stuff to me. To that I respond, hello, my name is that and that. How are you doing? Or would be nice to start with the introduction and hello and that kind of thing. But also I notice on FetLife people usually write that in their bio already, that if you want to text me in a respectful way, hello, and just like a normal person. Also, again, communication. People don't know kink communication, and I pretty much every day tell it to one guy or a girl that girls less, guys more, that first you just text me. You don't have to be at once like, oh, mistress, I'm your slave, use me, abuse me, and this kind of song. Just text me like a regular person. We'll talk. If we like each other, if there's some kind of interest, we're going to play. We're going to meet. We're going to talk more in person, and then we're going to play. If not, not. But there doesn't have to be... I mean, there is something to immediate like submission online. Sometimes it can be fruitful and it can be exciting, but not all the time. And also, guys who want to be slaves, I think they most of the time need to do a little bit more research.
What does it entitle?
Because, they like write, oh, you're gorgeous, I want to be your slave, I'm ready for anything, I'm gonna do everything you want me to do, I'm gonna lick you for hours until you come, I'm gonna suck on your feet, I'm gonna suck on your titties, and I'm like, who the fuck told you you're gonna be near to my body, like, ever? More on the first day, on the first action. No. So the perception of serving and worshipping your mistress is like, I'm gonna do sexual stuff to a woman. Yeah. I'm gonna get to that pussy or that ass. And no, you're not. Yeah. Almost always you're not gonna get to that body. You're gonna be cleaning something, you're gonna be spanked, flogged, abused in some kind of way, or like just some kind of different interaction. At some point, maybe we'll grow to it. Also, people rush, and I hate when people rush with dominant submissive relationships, with play, with action. I tried it myself. For example, like when I started actively participating in BDSM scene, I went to Flames dungeon and I was like a kid in a candy store, like give me everything, give me at once, now. And that was a mistake. I liked everything, but I had this smudged sense of what I liked most. So like I liked the whole experience, but what did I like? Like what specific things? What would I like to be more intense or more subtle for a longer period of time to experience that or this? So yeah, don't rush. Just start with 1-2 practices and build up. Also, things like edging and forced orgasm and this kind of things, they give you the suggestion that these things are nice, like build up, tension, like intrigue, this distance, this playing with each other, like teasing. This is the fun stuff, not like how you said,
penetration.
Spitting on the hand, like let's go.
That's the boring part.
That's
Lately, when I go on dates, because I've been living single life for maybe like 4 years now, and let's say the first few years were like just as bad as you can imagine. Like, it's hot and it moves, like amazing. But lately on dates, I've been this
dangerous
guy. Yeah, I've been this guy. And imagine like dangerous, but with game. It's like that's a bad combination. And lately on the dates, I've been the guy saying, oh yeah, like I got work tomorrow, I gotta wake up early, so I'll see you another time.
And it's normal. Again,
because I enjoy that connection more. Lately I've been enjoying the connection more and sex less and connection more. It's as weird as it sounds.
It doesn't sound weird. It sounds right.
So OnlyFans.
Yeah,
OnlyFans. What do you post on OnlyFans? And where do guys... Do you want to share your OnlyFans? Do you want to publicly on camera share your OnlyFans, or should they go to FetLife, find you there?
They should go on FetLife and find out for themselves. Let them do the work.
So what do you put on OnlyFans? What's your content there? If you don't mind sharing that.
I'm a nudes enthusiast. I finished 2 online courses on how to make tasteful and interesting nudes. So
I need link to those courses. Because that camera isn't only for filming YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest kinks is like, I'm going to shoot a lot of stuff with this thing.
Nice. So yeah, I like nudes. I find nudes again to be very therapeutic. As accepting your body, as learning your posture, your good sides and bad sides. And so I like to take nudes, and at some point I realized, okay, you have 24,000 pictures of nudes, you have to put it somewhere else other than chats and then private messages. And then I started to put also something from sessions, from playtimes, and people find it interesting. I don't really advertise my OnlyFans because, I mean, I don't know why. Like
You do have it mentioned on your FetLife, don't you?
it's mentioned on FetLife. It's mentioned in some other OnlyFans accounts that I'm friends with. So it's just there, and it started like for me mostly because I, to some extent, am an exhibitionist. So I like to show myself. I like to get praised for that. And also, I don't consider it to be something like shameful or wrong. And if someone uses my pictures to get themselves off, it's only a compliment.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And again, for educational purposes, sometime I'm going to be using that as well. So it's another platform to share information, and again to share how, for example, nudes can be done, because there is a lot of content, and I understand the criticism of porn industry, of again OnlyFans and in Instagram industry, that it's just naked butts of the girls, naked butts of the girls, naked
It's
butts
hard
of the girls.
it's hard to shoot the naked butt. Like, I appreciate porn. I don't watch porn. No, it desensitizes me, and like then I don't care about real people anymore. Like, I don't enjoy sex as much because it's not as stimulating as that camshot compilation.
Okay, I don't watch regular porn as much, sometimes just to get me off, but I do watch alternative porn. I like Four Chambers, and I like Erica Lust and something like that. So, but yeah, porn should be also, for me, it's about aesthetics. So it should be somehow interesting visually. It should be somehow beautiful. Even if it's disgusting, it still should be beautifully shot, beautiful lighting. And it's not about beautiful bodies. It's not about unified, very standardized, color corrected, and then vaginoplasty made they all look the same bodies. No, different bodies, different angles, different actions. So yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of nudes on the internet. I understand that. And a lot of them are the same. So
you want to educate people on how to make better nudes, basically.
Someday, yeah, as well. I mean, start a conversation with me. Guys, go on OnlyFans and just I like your content, and we start chatting, and we chat about their experiences, what fetishes they had. Some apply for maybe you want to play and have a session. Sometimes I agree. So again, another platform for communicating with people who are into the same things as I.
Nice. So let me ask you the last question.
Okay.
If guys did one thing after watching this, listening to this, what's you definitely have you have this knowledge, and there are definitely things you're frustrated with, like, oh my god, I wish people did this, or so what's one thing you wish more guys would do after watching this or listening to this? Maybe a topic they should explore, something they should learn, something they should think about, or anything.
I think the most important is try and be open to new experiences, to communication with a partner, and sometimes just go slow. don't rush. Don't rush getting into her panties. Don't rush into trying something very extreme. Don't rush and trying something you've seen in porn or in movie. Talk it through and just try new things gradually. Just explore, feel at the moment, like get the sense of who you are right here and now, who she is, he is. So, I don't know, enjoy.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for doing
Thank
this.
you.
As I told you, I do these interviews because I find some people fascinating and I just want to sit down and I really wanted to talk to you because you have so much experience, so much knowledge, and I really wanted to get to the stories from the other side, like how it is to
Stories
how
from
it
the
is to
other
fuck a guy with a
side.
strap on, and that's what we started with. But we went through so many topics, and I think you probably have so much more to share. I think I have a much better idea of topics we could cover, and this has been very interesting. So thank you a lot for doing
Thank you
this,
for
guys.
inviting.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you watch this on YouTube, then obviously subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the like button. If you listen
And
to this on that
ringy thing.
ringy thing, if you did listen to this on Spotify, then just follow the podcast, or if it's on Apple Podcasts, then please give this podcast a 5-star review. All these things simply do one thing. They help me reach more guys and help more guys improve their dating life. Maybe one of them will go to a sex shop, get a dildo shaped as his dick, and fuck his own ass one evening before fucking a girl. So,
and make it pleasurable for everybody.
thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and bye, guys.
Bye.